We're at the Pro Football Hall of Fame here in Canton, Ohio, with Ball State football at Media Day for the Mid-American Conference. Joining us first, Head Coach Mike Neu. Coach, this is an awesome experience to take your team and be able to see everything here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What's it like to walk around the halls of this place?
I'll tell you, if you're a football junkie, how are you not having a tremendous time here? I think it's a great job by the conference to have it here, and I know the players, just communicating with both Keionté and Tanner, I know they've had a great time, and just to be able to walk through and see all the history in the hallways here, to be able to see all the busts, every time, and again, this is my third time I've been here, but I can't get enough of it, and it's a great experience, and great for the conference to have this event here.
What does it mean to have Keionté and Tanner represent Ball State football here at MAC Media Days?
Yeah, obviously we both know what kind of players they are, both tremendous football players on their respective sides of the ball, but I think what makes me the most proud is just what kind of human beings they are. Tremendous human beings. Both of them are great leaders. Just being able to interact with them on the car ride here yesterday for 4.5 hours, and then to travel this morning with them for 30 minutes from the hotel, I just couldn't be more proud. And just the way they interact with other players, with other coaches, it gets me so excited just to think about them representing our program.
Heard there was a lot of golf conversation on the car ride up.
We did. We obviously it's nice nowadays when you can travel with your device in your car and maybe watch a little bit of the Open over there. Tanner and I had some golf conversation. Keionté was reading a book in the back. Obviously, not too long into the ride, I lost both of them there to a nap. But man, we had a great car ride, just talking about a number of different things. But yes, we did listen to some golf on the way here.
So yesterday, the guys got to go to the golf simulator. If you had to do that golf simulator, what would your end result be?
Well, I can't hit it very far anymore. I try to take pride.
Anymore?
Anymore. I used to be able to hit it a long way, but I try to take pride in maybe just keeping the ball in play. Never get to play as much as you'd like to. I love the game of golf, but, it's just tough to be able to invest as much time as you need to be good. But make no mistake, I still enjoy playing, and looking forward to a family outing this Saturday before we get cranked up.
Mike, you talk about getting cranked up for training camp. It is less than 2 weeks away, almost here before Ball State football hits the field. When you look at what this roster is, we'll start on offense. What excites you most?
Well, we returned a lot of experience on the offensive side of the ball, starting with returning 4 starters on the offensive line: Damon Kaler, Ethan Crow, John Mucciolo, Tarantayo. That excites me. I'll take that any year, any time. The game's won and lost in the trenches. Excited about the future for Caden Samanza, very talented redshirt freshman. Obviously played in the 4 games at the beginning of the year last year before the decision was made to redshirt him. Love what I've seen from him this offseason. Listening to the other players around him on offense, the skill players, their excitement level, that excites me. Obviously Tanner, him making the decision to come back to Ball State, and for us to be able to build the offense around him and his skill set, which is super unique. As we both know, one of the big points of emphasis this offseason offensively was to really get more competition in here at wide receiver. Brought in 3 guys from the transfer portal. Those 3 guys first, Justin Bowick. He's as talented of a big receiver as I've been able to be around, and that excites me. Haven't been on the field yet with him, but just watching him work and how elusive he is for a big guy. He also has deceptive speed. Trey Firestone out of Purdue, he's got great size. He's a great route runner. We recruited him heavy coming out of high school, and then Jamarian McDougal, he can flat out fly. He's one of those guys that always on the GPS trackers for the workouts during the summer, always registers one of the top speeds. And then, thinking back, for the guys coming back from last year, Keon Magwood, our leading receiver. We get Ty Robinson back. Ty was the leading receiver through 2 games before we missed the rest of the season. And so that excites me. And then we also have some young guys in our program, in Cam Pickett and Isaiah Thacker, that have worked hard. Obviously Malcolm Gillies played a lot of snaps for us. So we got a good group of receivers where there's a lot of competition, and we got good depth. That's exciting. And then at running back, we brought in an FCS All-American from Eastern Kentucky and Braden Sloan. Just excited about what I've seen out of him. Vaughn Pemberton made the decision to come back. TJ Horton's been working hard for his opportunity. Charlie Spiegel has been working hard. Christian Davis. So excited about that. I'm just ready to get to work here for training camp, but certainly offensively, that's where we return the most experience on the team.
You talk about 100 starts plus with the offensive line coming back, 4 starters. The running back room might be a little different from a name standpoint, but Mike, we've talked about this. The excitement's there because of all those names that you mentioned. Wide receiver, influx of players, and returners also coming back. Flip it over to the defensive end. This is where there's a little bit of a difference, but you're excited about the defensive line. We'll start there first.
Yeah, well, and first of all, we played tremendous defense the last 3 years. Yes, we have a coordinator change. Jeff Knowles is coming in here, but Jeff's very familiar with our conference. He was a MAC champion defensive coordinator at Northern Illinois with Rod Carey before they went to Temple. Done a remarkable job the last 2 years at Butler down in Indianapolis, playing great defense. Jeff knows this conference. Starts with Keionté Newson. You know, his leadership returning as the middle linebacker for us has been paying dividends all offseason. Obviously, we knew we had to have some additions to the guys up front. We brought 5 guys in from the transfer portal that have played college football. Obviously, we got 2 young men in Drew Hughes and Nathan Reichert that have worked tirelessly in our program. They're ready for their opportunity. But you talk about Riley Tolsma, all-conference player from Hillsdale, Hunter Sanderson, all-conference player from Alma College in Michigan, Kai Montgomery, he was a national recruit out of Indianapolis Pike High School that went to Missouri, had an injury there. He's had a great offseason. Lasir Luter, big nose guard for us. That's a big man in the middle there. Young man named Scott Hudson from the Indianapolis area as well. And then, you know, excited about the pass rushers, obviously from outside linebacker standpoint. We lost Sidney Houston. Brandon Berger returns at that spot. He's ready to go. Obviously, DeJuan Eccles has worked hard. Brought in a young man out of UND named Justin Thomas. Well, he's been awesome. He loves the game of football, and he's been great so far in his time here. So it all starts in the trenches. Yes, we had some additions to our program through the transfer portal of guys that have played ball. Also returned some guys that, you know, they've worked hard, and we've made a few moves on defense, some position changes to make sure that we're ready to go.
Coach, also the defensive back group, revamped, but also some returners coming back too.
No question. You know, we have some guys in that room. Ty Baldwin started games for us at corner. I'm looking forward to him, taking the reins and being a full-time starter for us for the entire season. He's worked hard to put himself in that position. One move I'm super excited about, obviously Jamad Harmon also played games for us last year, did a really good job, has had a great offseason. Excited about Kyle Kelly. You know, Kyle, when he made the decision to come back, we had a great discussion about, hey, plan on you being on the field for us and as a two-way player, and how much can we get you on the field. So he's embraced the move to playing corner, defensively full-time, still going to have a package on offense. Could see him as a return guy as well for us. Just excited. He's a dynamic playmaker, and how much can he be on the field?
I like how you slid that in. Could be in some returning areas too.
That's exactly right. So that's exciting. And then you talk about the safeties for us. You know, D.D. Snyder, Jordan Coleman, those guys have had great off seasons, but we got good depth. I think about Elijah Davis, that's worked hard as a talented young freshman. And then, you know, you look at the nickel position for us, George Udo, transfer from Cincinnati. He's had a really good offseason, really good summer. So I'm excited. Even though we might lose some experience in terms of starters, we still got guys that played in games, have starting experience, but have worked tirelessly, and they're ready for their opportunity.
You mentioned Coach Knowles and some of the valuable aspects that he's going to bring to this football team. Mike, let's flip over to the offensive side real quick with Coach Elliott. Him being moved to full-time OC, what does that do for this program?
Yeah, you know, obviously we got to become more explosive, and one of the reasons for that change, Coach Elliott during his time at Western Illinois was always one of the top passing offenses in FCS, and you know, we got to make sure we take advantage of. We still want to be a physical football team. We still want to be able to establish a run, but we got to find ways to become more explosive, and feel very confident that Coach Elliott is going to bring that to the table. And you know, obviously excited about what's taken place already this offseason, and hope to see that continue. And I know that will continue once we get into camp.
Coach, this is the 100th season of Ball State football. For you personally, you've been a part of this as a coach, as a player, as a student, as an athlete. What does it mean for you to be a part of this 100th season of Ball State football?
There's only one year 100. There's only one team 100, and you know, we got to make it count. We got to make the most of that. their talk is cheap. It's time for us to put our head down to go to work and to prove some people wrong. But, I'm very appreciative of the years I've been able to be at Ball State, both from a player and from a coaching standpoint. I know it was been put out. There's been 6 championships that have been won at Ball State, and I've been fortunate to be part of 3 of those. And so I'm just excited to create some excitement with our fans. We need them at Schumann Stadium to support our team, so make sure you get your tickets. But we got obviously work to do here in training camp, but we're excited about the outlook in our building. I've seen those guys go to work day in, day out. Coach Dan Wenger, our director of strength and conditioning, has done a phenomenal job training our football team all off season, and can't wait to see that hard work pay off for us. And I'm just excited to get going. This obviously brings kind of the close to the summer when you come to Mac Media Day. You got a few more days here, and man, now you start smelling football and it's time to get going.
Here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame with Keionté Newson, linebacker for Ball State. Keionté, this is an opportunity for you to enjoy the time with Coach Neu, Tanner Koziol, and experience at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What's it been like for you so far?
It's been exciting to see everything and everybody to accomplish in their career, man, and just getting to see my favorite players and their inductees and their classes and everything. It was just wonderful to be around and see.
You're a big Ray Lewis fan, right?
Oh, yeah. So I went to everything that had anything to do with the Ravens and himself. Yeah, it was so fun just getting to see him, and he had a big, major influence on my wanting to play football with, like, his hype and the way he played and he approached the game. That was my easy pick for my favorite player ever. So, yeah, seeing that in this area was awesome.
We're walking around. You're looking at player stats. You see some player stats. Is there anybody from the past that you think that you could take one-on-one in like an Oklahoma drill or anything like that you could go tackle?
Oh, yeah. Emmitt Smith was in here. Emmitt Smith was in there with like 16,000 rushing yards, and I'm going to stand on this. If I was playing in that time, we're going to take off 4,000 of those rushing yards, man. But one-on-one, Oklahoma, I'll take Emmitt Smith, and just for a challenge, I'll go against Big Jim Brown. I'm gonna chop a tree, though, hit him low.
I think I might have to end this right here. That's a good way to do this. Keionté, with being here with Tanner and Coach, like how special is it for you to enjoy this experience with those 2 guys?
It's great because you get to be around like the guys that I'm always around in a different scenery. So just seeing them and getting dressed up and all that stuff and watching them answer questions and learn a little bit more about them on the loan car rides and stuff, it was fun to happen.
A lot of golf conversation, right?
Oh, yeah. They had plenty of golf talk, and I was like, what does shooting under 130 or whatever the sports terms for golf means, and I was just confused, but I learned a lot, and I learned how to hold a golf club not too long ago, yesterday actually, so that was fun.
Driver, putter, or chip, what was your best part of the game?
I'm gonna say chip because it's the easiest to do.
Okay. Big respect. Keionté, looking forward to this 100th season of Ball State football, iconic year being the 100th season of the football squad. What has you most excited about this group?
It's the way that we are approaching work, and no one knows like what we have in store for this season. Like no one knows what Ball State's made of, no one knows what we have, and no one knows what we're doing behind closed doors. And it's like everybody has their own saying or whatever they feeling about us in last season or a couple seasons, but like no one knows what we have in store for this year. And it's just like so excited that we're gonna show everybody this year.
You've got that smirk on your face of like, yeah, we've got something up our sleeve.
Because we most definitely been putting in the work to get to where we want to be, and we're getting back to where we need to be, yeah.
From a defensive standpoint, there are a lot of graduates, new players coming in. How do you think that the defense has been able to settle in so far during the summer?
I think everybody's trying to do their due diligence and learning the playbook and get around guys that they haven't been around. So D-line, we had to reconstruct our whole D-line. So a lot of these guys haven't been around us for a minute. So bringing those guys along and making sure that they feel comfortable and feel like they're at home with us has been a big part for like me and the guys that have been here. And I just feel like a lot of the young guys are taking that step. And they haven't taken it yet, but they're starting to realize like, all right, the time's coming. I can make these plays. I can do all the little things. I just need to put forth the effort to get it done. And I think everybody's doing what they need to do to make sure that we're getting back to the point where we were last year as a top 20 defense.
We chatted a little bit last year when you took over a new role, changing your role on defense. How have you been able to solidify that a little bit more going into this coming year and find that leadership role that you really want to be a part of?
Just being more vocal, like constantly talking, making sure everybody's hearing my voice, but also making sure that I'm doing the work that I need to be doing just so I can hold these people accountable. Because if I'm not doing what I need to do on my end, how can I tell somebody else to go do something else, you know? So just making sure that I'm handling myself the way that I need to do and being the voice that people need to hear to encourage and like drive and just make sure everything's going smooth for us, for real. Yeah.
Coach Knowles, first thing that comes to mind when you hear his name.
Coach Knowles, you could tell he played some gritty ball back in his day. He's a blue-collar guy. He likes to do his work, and I love his defense. So it's going to be so exciting to make some plays under him this year, and just like the things he's done for me in the small time he's been here, and the bond we have and we're growing, like him bringing his son up to the stadium and having him in there with us with meetings and stuff like that. Like, I'll cherish things like that forever, and just like a blessing to have him around and in my life right now.
How do you connect with a new defensive coordinator that comes in later in your career to make sure that you are on the same page as a leader on the field and him as a leader as a coach?
It's really just buying into what he wants to get done. Like, he's not going to steer me in the wrong direction, so I'm going to make sure I'm doing everything to please him and that I'm, you know what I'm saying, doing my due diligence to hold that standard of, yeah, it's a different coach, but at the end of the day, somebody's asked me to do something, and he wants me to be the best me I can be, so why not give my all for him?
Back at the Pro Football Hall of Fame here in Canton, Ohio. Tanner Koziol joining us at Mac Media Day. Tanner, this is your first chance to experience what the Pro Football Hall of Fame is. Yeah. What's it been like for you so far?
I mean, it's been really surreal. Seeing the history of the game is something I've never seen before. And just being around the different busts of like Troy Polamalu, Calvin Johnson, and seeing the legends that have played the game and what they're able to do for it. It's just really cool to see everything and really soak it all in and understand the weight of the sport that I'm playing and the impact it could have.
Saw some of the cleats that were in there from like the 1970s. How unique was it to see like that type of old football apparel?
It was sweet. I told you there was a pair of cleats I would have worn in there from a couple of years ago. They were fire. I would wear them. I mean, I'm happy the guys back then had drip.
Jim Thorpe, ring a bell?
Never did until I got here.
How cool is it to experience the Hall of Fame with Coach Neu and Keionté?
It's awesome. I mean, Coach Neu, he's been around the game for so long. He's a ton of different stories that he's told us. And Keionté is just the most curious bug you'll ever meet. So he was loving it all, and it was awesome just learning it and soaking it all in with him.
Tanner, season's coming up, less than 50 days now until kickoff. When you look at what this team has, what are the strengths that you're excited to see on display?
We got strengths all over. Offensively, we got a three-headed monster in Justin Bowick, Ty Robinson, and Keon Magwood, just some receivers that want to play the game hard. They want to go get the ball, and they want to make an impact for the team. And then we got our O-line. We got a bunch of dogs up there. We got Big Mooch, Damon Kaler, Ethan Crow, Taryn Tayo. We got a bunch of guys that want to work hard. They're going to go down and get the dirty work done. And then Caden Simones is ready to light up the MAC this year for a fact.
Offensive line sometimes gets lost in the shuffle of everything, but you mentioned some key pieces that are coming back. What does that do to help anchor this offense?
It brings back the maturity. We are a really young team, and the maturity that those guys have walking through the locker room, the experience that they have, and everything that we can learn from them. Look up to older players. Ethan Crow has played a ton of football. Damon Kaler has played a ton of football. And it's just having that older presence and wanting to win with those guys because they know what it takes to win is just awesome.
You as a blocker, we talked about you as a blocker freshman year and how you had to come in and try and learn the college game of blocking. How do you feel like that part of your game has evolved?
It's the part of the game I want to grow the most. It's games are won and lost in the trenches. That's the end of the story, especially in the MAC. And that's a part of my game that I'm going to continue to grow. And this year I'm looking forward to sticking my face in some people and just getting dirty.
You mentioned the wide receiver room, Justin Bowick, Ty Robinson, Keon Magwood, and then the depth that this team's going to have at wide receiver. What excites you about that group paired with the tight end group that can really make this offensive attack roll?
I think everyone's ready to throw some people around. Everyone wants to throw blocks downfield, and then we're going to make plays on top of it in the pass game. I'm excited for Coach Elliott to what he can do with all these stars that he has. I'm just so pumped, and it's the want to that I'm really excited about this team that we have, and we know what we can do this year. But again, no one else knows what's going on inside our locker room but us. That's what I'm most excited about to show.
You mentioned Coach Elliott taking over a new role, offensive coordinator. What is the dynamic between Coach Elliott and this offense to help that engine go?
Every single one of these players is going to buy into what Coach Elliott's saying. He knows the game inside and out. He has a passion for it that bleeds through him every day, and it's hard to see that he ever doesn't think about football. The man really lives and breathes ball, and I'm just so excited for what he can do with us.
Tanner Koziol, Ball State football tight end here at Mac Media Days at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Tanner, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Mick. Appreciate you.